with you with a very special guest, Sheriff Dave Wedding with Vanderbilt County Sheriff's Department here in Evansville, Indiana. For those of you who aren't around the area here, but still some great tips he's going to be able to share with us today about keeping your home safe and secure. So, Dave, I really appreciate you coming out
Thank you.
and taking your time to do this. I know you're a very busy man, so just tell the viewers a little bit about yourself. How long you've been in law enforcement, and how long you've been sheriff?
Well, I was hired January 1, 1981, so I'm in my 37th year in law enforcement. Proud to say that I've spent my entire career with the Vanderbilt County Sheriff's Office. And I became the sheriff of Vanderbilt County in May of 2014 and have served in that capacity since.
Well, great. Well, great. We really appreciate the service and everything you're doing for the community. You've been doing a great job. And another thing is, it's like the thing I wanted him to come on and talk to us about specifically is home security. So how important is that? I mean, why do we need to keep our homes secure?
Well, it's very important because, number one, you have probably the largest investment that you'll ever have is your home.
Yeah.
And not only is it your personal items and personal property, but you're living there and your loved ones are living there. So you want to keep not only your dwelling safe, but your loved ones safe as well.
Yes, and I can totally agree with that because I've got little ones of my own, got one and then one on the way, so and a wife, and as far as recent burglaries or anything like that, I mean, there's always burglaries going on that you guys are having to deal with around the area, right?
We do. It's unfortunate that in any community, burglaries are not uncommon. I'm the sheriff of the community, and my residence was broken into about 1 year ago.
Wow.
And it's not a pleasant experience coming home and finding your home ransacked, windows left wide open in the middle of the winter, some of your personal items taken, having to replace things, damage to your home. So we take burglaries very serious as a sheriff in a sheriff's office.
Yeah, I mean, it's all stuff that us homeowners work very, very hard to get.
Right.
I mean, some people work all their lives to get a home.
And sometimes there's items that have been given to somebody because of a family member's death.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a lot of value to them, not just in monetary, but personal relationships. Something was passed down, and those things can never be replaced.
Yeah, my wife, when she was still living with her parents before she moved out several years ago, they were broken into, and they come home and all their belongings are ransacked and drawers open, and
Well, it's a true violation of your privacy.
yes,
Most people want to believe that you are safe in your dwelling, and when you're away from your dwelling, you put a lock on the door, you hope you're safe. But unfortunately, that's not how it works.
yeah.
And I know even in our state, we have the castle doctrine that allows a homeowner that if somebody was to break and enter their residence while they're home, the homeowner can take that person's life. So in our state, we have a provision in there that if a burglar was to enter your residence, you could take their life while they're inside your residence. I'm not saying that's the ultimate thing to do,
Correct.
but it is an option for somebody to do if they felt threatened by the burglar. I would hope that people keep their doors locked, that they're vigilant of their property. Sometimes people leave their garage doors wide open at night.
Mm-hmm.
Some people leave their doors unlocked, windows open, blinds open, things like that. So when you're around your house, you should always think about, is somebody looking in? Is somebody casing my property? Is somebody planning on breaking and entering my home, either while I'm home or while I'm away?
I just sold a house. One of the recent houses I just sold, one of the neighbors, I chit chat with neighbors a lot. They'll see me out there and ask how things are going, and sold the house yet, and it's like, hey, it's a very secure neighborhood in here. Our neighbor down the road, he still leaves his garage open every day. He hardly ever shuts it. And I'm like, I mean, I know you're pretty safe. It's not a good idea because I'm sure the burglars are out casing places that they think they're safe.
And some burglaries are caused because they've targeted the residents. Some of them are random. We've spoken to a lot of people, and like we had a burglary out in northern Vanderbilt County where some people were out basically drinking and getting drunk. They pulled down a long lane to use the bathroom, and while they're using the bathroom, they decided to break into the home. So it was a very random thing, middle of the day, and you would never thought it would happen in that particular location, but it does happen, and that was just a random act.
Yeah, I told my grandma before to keep her doors locked
Right.
because people just walk in.
Right, they will.
Right?
They will.
And I saw an article today where there was a peeping drone. I don't know if you guys have ran into that yet, but there was an article. It happened down in Arcadian Acres, and I can't remember if it was on like the Nextdoor app or what. People, one of the neighbors were notifying because the lady's home it happened to. She wasn't on that app and was saying, you know, that she noticed some little flashing lights outside her window one night here recently, and she's like, well, thought it was a police car or something, but she noticed it was moving, and she got face to face. She went to look out the window, and the drone was right there,
Oh, yeah.
peeking in her window.
Yeah, that's the modern day voyeurism,
Mm-hmm.
where years ago people might come in person and peep in your window. Now with the electronic devices that we have, it makes voyeurism much easier thing to happen.
Like,
So-
how do you? It's like, you know, that makes it harder to catch them. Sure.
Sure it does.
You know.
It does. And remember, people are very crafty. You know, I tell people all the time, especially women or single women, when you're at home at night, shut your blinds.
Yep.
You don't want to draw attention to people.
No.
You know, you get out of your showers, you go into your bedroom, you should have those blinds closed, because if somebody sees you,
Yeah.
you know, and you're disrobed because you're walking in the shower, moving around the
Yeah.
house, that's going to attract, you know, the pervert
Yeah.
to be monitoring you and your every move within your house. So be vigilant of that, and to know that while you're in your home and it's lit up and the perpetrator's on the outside, you can't see them because they're in the darkness
Yeah.
looking at you in a well-lit home.
Yeah. Scumbags is what I
Oh,
call
yeah,
them.
they do. I
That's
use
what I
dirt
call them.
bags as a terminology, but there's people out there that intend to do you harm.
Yep.
Thank God it's a small number of people, but nevertheless, there's people out there who will do you harm.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. You know, I guess when it comes to securing the home, do you recommend security systems? You know, motion lights. What would you recommend as far as like intruder protection?
Ways to keep your home safe with like electronic surveillance
Yep.
systems. And there are so many systems out there today, and they're advancing rapidly. They have systems now where they have cameras on the front door of your residence. It's mounted about where a doorbell would be. So if somebody was to walk up to your front porch, it would alert you on your cell phone.
On your phone, yeah.
So you can actually see
Yeah.
a vivid image of a person on your front porch, and you can think, hey, that person's not supposed to be there, you
Yeah,
know?
right.
And you can start taking plans like, hey, why is this person on my front porch? So that's a good one.
You can even talk to them on those too,
Yes,
right?
you can. You
Yeah.
can certainly have a conversation like, why are you on my front porch? Which pretty well scares the average
Yeah.
guy, like, hey, who's watching
Yeah,
me
who's
here?
talking to him? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good mechanism there. Any type of camera on your exterior that might catch a vehicle parking in your driveway outside, captures a license plate. They have garage door openers now that you can remote in from halfway around the country. Those
Yeah.
are very nice. So you'll know if somebody gets in your garage, if the door opens or closes, and that's a nice tool to have. But just take advantage of the new modern day technology that's out there that gives you images of people in and around your property.
Technology is a wonderful thing, and that, you know, when people talking about the garage doors, I know a lot of people that leave that garage door unlocked that accesses to their house, whether it leads into a laundry room or a mud room or whatever. And I know I keep mine locked all the time, me and my wife do, but there's so many people, it's like, well, if I get locked out of my house, I can at least get in my garage. And well, burglars can too, right?
Well, that's right. And a lot of people do leave that door unlocked, and I would say it's probably not a good idea. Matter of fact, oftentimes people, men and or women, leave billfolds, purses, valuables. They come in, and there's that one table somewhere around
Yeah.
the kitchen where we put all our purses
the
and stuff
catch-all
when we get
table,
in.
yeah.
And that's where the burglar knows. So if they get in through your garage, they're probably going to go right there, take your purse, billfold, watch, car keys, whatever. So I would keep that door locked.
Definitely. And I know there was a house I sold here recently. I converse with neighbors a lot, and they're like, "Yeah, it's pretty safe around here." One of our guys, he can hardly ever get him to shut his garage door because, you know, you don't get anybody that comes back here. And I'm like, criminals case for places like that.
And we
right?
still hear that from people, oh, I never locked my doors, you know, well, that's a pretty good risk you're taking, you know,
Yeah.
so I would lock your doors.
Yeah.
If you're out and about, keep your doors locked.
Now, one thing too is I hear about like home self-defense classes that families could take. Is that something you would recommend?
Well, if you take any type of a home defense class, a personal safety class, a firearm safety class, take more than one. Don't go somewhere, get into a 4-hour seminar or 4-hour conference or something, and they're teaching you some very fundamental ways to protect yourself. Because although they're good awareness training, you're not going to be able to apply that by going once. And I always make the analogy like a football player, receiver, they catch passes every day in practice.
Hundreds
before
of them.
The football game.
Yeah.
They throw and catch, throw and catch, throw and catch. So if you think you're going to defend yourself against a strong intruder by taking a 4-hour training class, you're sadly mistaken. But if you want to take a 6-month course or a year-long training, or just do it continually throughout your life, if you're really thinking you're going to be astute enough to take care of yourself, then stay with the class and learn, because you could be pretty proficient in protecting yourself. Likewise, if you decide to buy a firearm to protect yourself, you better go with somebody who knows and understands firearms. You better put many firearms into your hands. Which one fits well? Which one shoots well? How does it recoil? Do I understand the working mechanism of the weapon? What's my target acquisition when I bring my gun up? Things like that. Am I going to buy cheap so I risk economy over safety? I wouldn't do that. Spend a little extra money on something that's going to last you a lifetime. You have to look at what type of ammunition am I going to purchase. Is it going to cycle through the weapon well? So make sure you buy good ammunition. Buy the ammunition that the manufacturer recommends that goes through that particular weapon, not another one. So practice with the gun, shoot it, feel comfortable with it, and then you have to understand, can I take a life?
Sure.
If somebody breaks in my house, can I pull that weapon out and shoot somebody? That's a bigger
Everybody
challenge
reacts different, right?
than most people think, because a lot of people can't take a life.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some soldiers that went over and fought in the war, couldn't take a life. It wasn't in them. And now you're looking at somebody breaking into your home, can you take a life? You also have to think, make sure you understand who you're getting ready to shoot. Is it a neighbor who got in your house accidentally? Maybe they were intoxicated or something.
Yeah.
Somebody got in and playing a joke on you. Is it a loved one? Sometimes you see people around the holidays, they have multiple people coming in for family, get-togethers over Thanksgiving, Christmas, things like that. And somebody comes in their house and they've been shot and killed by another family member, thinking it's an intruder. So think about what you're doing before you pick up a weapon and utilize it. And I'm very pro-gun, and I'm pro-carry. So as a sheriff, I'm okay with people with weapons to defend themselves. But I encourage people, if you're going to take that stance, to educate yourself so you know exactly what you're buying, how to use it, and even understand how the law applies to using self-defense with the weapon.
Absolutely. And then also, when you're taking those multiple classes or taking those multiple shooting lessons with your gun or safety classes, you get it more toned to muscle memory,
right,
to where you don't have to think about it as much, right? When seconds count, right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing, you see about, I don't remember if we mentioned the safe thing, but, I see YouTube videos and things about these big, ginormous safes that are actually pretty easy to break into if a criminal knows what he's doing, right?
Oh yeah, you gotta remember, no matter what you buy, somebody knows how to defeat the lock or defeat the mechanism. So always try to buy something that's been kind of tried, tested, and proven itself. Once again, don't use economy versus your safety, especially if you're putting valuable things in there. The best thing to do when you're wanting to secure items that you don't want somebody to get to is maybe place them in an obscure area that they may not even think to look. But short of that, if you want to buy a nice safe, you might even put that somewhere out of the way of what somebody would normally see in the house. So they go in, they're looking through your dresser drawers, nightstands, under your bed, under your mattress, kitchen cabinets, offices, things like that. Maybe put it somewhere obscure, and that's a good place to
I was driving through a neighborhood the other day, and I just happened to look over. The guy was working in his garage, and I saw one of those safes in his garage.
Right.
I mean, that's probably one of the worst places you could probably
It
keep it.
can be, yeah.
I would think.
Yeah, but some people do keep expensive gun safes out there with good locks, and they may be okay. But no matter what you have, just think there's somebody in there that could try to steal it or break
Absolutely.
into it.
Absolutely. So I think we're starting to wind down in our conversation here. If there was one tip out of what we've talked about here today, maybe you've mentioned it already, maybe you haven't, but if there was one tip for homeowners to keep their home safe, what would that be?
Well, without living in a state of paranoia, you just want to be mindful that there's people out there that will take your property. There's some people out there who may try to cause you harm. So think about every single day, am I doing the right things to keep myself safe? Like locking doors, keeping lights on at night, keeping the shrubbery trimmed around your residence, not doing anything to invite a would-be prowler or burglar into your residence. If you live at home alone, do you want to buy an alarm system, have a large dog? Do you want to do something that would make it unattractive to a would-be burglar? So think about, what can I do to make myself safer? And for each person, that may be something different. But you have to find out what fits into my lifestyle to keep me safe. And whether you investigate different things, like I said, maybe a guy does a personal safety class, maybe a person gets a handgun, maybe a person buys a dog, maybe a person invests in a surveillance video system with a monitor on it, things like that. Maybe you buy a combination of all of them, so, but there's so many things out there to protect yourself. And always keep in mind that there's nothing that will keep you 100% safe in this world.
Yeah.
So you just want to do as much as you can to live a good life and not worry about every single day.
Yeah.
But if you become a victim of a crime, it's like, when I was a victim of burglary, it ate on you for a while. I mean, it really made me think about my personal safety.
Absolutely.
When I came home to that home that had been torn up through a burglary.
Yeah.
And
Always
it
want to have
bothered
somebody in there.
It bothered me. And then for a while you think, when I leave, is this going to happen again? And we've had people who were unfortunate to have multiple burglaries or cars broken into, things like that. And it's not a very pleasant feeling. So just do the best you can to keep yourself safe in your residence, and always look for ways to make your house less attractive to the would-be burglar.
Absolutely. And you mentioned that keeping your shrubbery, your landscaping trim back, I see that a lot, going around the houses that I'm in and touring and things. It's like some people just let their landscaping go.
Yeah, right.
It's like, man, it's a perfect place for somebody to hide in
Oh,
there.
Lord, yes,
And nobody'd ever see them.
Well, and while they're lurking around the outside of your house, they got a great hiding spot.
Yep.
But if the landscape is trimmed low, about 3 or 4 foot, they can't hide very well.
Yeah. Now, I know you do a realtor safety class once, if not twice a year, and we really appreciate you doing that. That you put on for the association, the local board here for the Association of Realtors,
Right.
But I think that pretty well concludes the interview. Everything I wanted to talk about. I know I've learned a lot of things. I'm hoping some of you viewers out there are picking up on some stuff and things you can put into practice. I know I did, and I try to be pretty self-cognizant of the issue. But there's always stuff you can learn. But Sheriff Wedding, I know you're very busy. I really appreciate your time. Much obliged.
Thank you for coming out.
Yeah, and until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Until next time, we'll see you guys again soon. Take care.